welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you're here. And if you're new here, hi, I'm April. And yeah, we like to talk all things motivation, inspiration, and mentorship here. Now, today's video is going to be quite a bit of a twist. So for you guys who've been around for a while, you would have noticed that the thumbnail and the title is going to be a little bit different as far as categories are concerned in my normal content. But that's okay, because there's a method to my madness. I feel like for me, I have a lot of guilty pleasures, right? And if you've been here for a while, I've shared that I am a lover of books and movies and films and series, and I just love all things kind of unwinding and getting into content if you will. And so it's just one of those fun things to do, and I feel like the season of autumn is really a perfect backdrop to that. You really can just kind of cozy up and get into the mood of just kind of relaxing and having a lot of lazy days. And so one of my guilty pleasures is the 90-day franchise, TLC's 90-day franchise, whether it's 90-day Fiance, Before the 90 Days, Happily Ever After. I'm trying to get a little bit more into the single life this season. I got to do some binging on that one. And I think there might have been another one, but nevertheless, I really do like the 90-day franchises. And this season, for some, they may feel like their hopes are a little bit dashed in the content, so to speak. But, I still think there's a lot of jewels to be learned when it comes to some of these shows. And, there's definitely a lot of life lessons that you can pick up from many of them, including 90 Days. One of the life lessons being mostly, don't do it. So, but still, nevertheless, I just enjoy it. The hubby sometimes will pop in and out with me, but it's just kind of fun to be able to come out here on my platform with you guys and, kind of share my thoughts and my review and recaps of the episode. So if you are a 90-day fan as well, whether you're a fan that you love to hate them or just love to love, let me know in the comment section. Let's start a conversation about it. I would so really enjoy that. And yeah, here you go, another side of me. So let's go ahead and get right on into it, because this is actually my first, I think, recap, of an actual series. Now, I'll take that back. I did a couple of recaps of in the Besties Night In videos. If you haven't seen any of those, check out my playlist, because I have them all listed out there as well. And so I've kind of dibbled and dabbled a little bit in reviews and stuff, because again, I love reading books, I love movies, I love all that kind of stuff, and I like to review it and I like to talk about it and chop it up like everybody else does. So I thought, well, will be kind of fun to kind of bring that to the platform here in the community at the suite. So here we are, we're just doing it. So this past week's episode, we basically opened up with Bilal and Shaeeda. So we're gonna just talk about them a little bit and just kind of what took place, and I just would love to get your thoughts on some of it. So we start off with basically Bilal and Shaeeda are packing, and they look very excited, and they are then sharing with us that, hey, we're gonna be going to New York. It's the first time that Shaeeda has ever been to New York, and I'm actually born from New York as well, so I can understand the anticipation of it all, and I just was so excited for her. Bilal and Shaeeda, they're kind of that couple that I really, really want to root for them, and I really do like them on paper, but Bilal, sometimes, he can work a nerve, and and the mansplaining, and just sometimes the subtle and not so subtle aggressiveness, and the passive aggressiveness, which is one of those types of traits I really absolutely despise. He does that in spades. But one thing about Bilal is you can tell that he's like still trying to figure it out, So you want to try to root for him to figure it out. But nevertheless, if you guys have been following the series thus far, that Bilal and Shaeeda are talking about two really important things this season. One, getting Shaeeda's yoga studio up and running in America. and also them starting a family. And Shaeeda is just chomping at the bit, right? Look, she's a certain mature age, and she really wants to get that ball rolling. And who could blame her? If you really want, to move forward and forming a family, go ahead, do you. And Bilal is obviously pretty hesitant about that. He has two children from his previous marriage, and I kind of feel like Bilal in a way is just maybe he's very nervous of committing in that way. I don't know, it's kind of weird to me because it's not like Bilal didn't know that Shaeeda had these thoughts and these feelings and these desires, right? I would never believe that Bilal didn't know how much Shaeeda wanted to have a child. And so I look at him from the perspective of, if you know this, right, why are you going to move forward if it's not what you want to do? So, I go back and forth with Bilal. And of course, the yoga studio is something that is very dear to Shaeeda's heart. This is what she did in her home place of Trinidad. And so, yeah, she wants to be able to start that up, and Bilal has promised to help her get that going. So, yeah, that's wonderful. I love the support. The support is great, right? So, again, this couple, they're just a great couple on paper. Now, as we were kind of going through watching the beginning scenes, I'm just sitting here literally waiting for Bilal to start now dictating how Shaeeda should pack her her stuff in her suitcase. I was just ready for it, because any chance Bilal gets to mansplain something, he's gonna do it, okay? He's never, ever gonna let an opportunity slip by for that. So, it seemed like he was kind of chilled a little bit, but then, he couldn't help himself because Shaeeda was, looking like she was trying to pack for a whole year. And, he basically says, hey, look, we're not going for a month, you might want to, kind of tone it down a little bit, right? And of course, Shaeeda's playing kind of the role of like, oh my gosh, I think you might need to, show me how to pack, and, I need to know how to pack. And now I'm like, look, Shaeeda, you literally flew from Trinidad, okay, to Kansas, Missouri? Okay, you gonna tell me you don't know how to pack? All right, yeah, so, there's that, that kind of little damsel in distress thing that, look, Shaeeda is not fooling anybody. But, so, he goes to kind of tease with her a little bit. I will say that I appreciated their banter a little bit more in this episode, because it just seemed more loving and less, child-parent relationship, which is not a goal, in relationships. But yeah, so I did appreciate that. Now, Bilal is also excited too for this trip to go to New York, and he's excited to have some romantic time, right? He wants to get out, enjoy all the city streets. He wants to be up all night, and let's just hang out, leave all our cares, and let's just have a good time, a good romantic time with his wife. And you know what? I ain't mad at it. I am here for it. I think it's great. He's excited about that. Now, Shaeeda, she's a little bit one-track mind right now, baby, and Bilal's trying to get her off that track. But nevertheless, they go ahead and keep moving through their packing, and then Shaeeda shares about the fact that, look, part of the reason why they're going to New York is they're going to meet up with one of her friends, which is really her best friend, Utrice, who is flying in from London. So it's like, okay, this is going to be nice, to see someone for Shaeeda to be there, because, one thing I always feel really bad for the expats, they never have anyone, right? Everyone that they are dependent on is the family and the friends that is established through whoever this, their new love interest is. So that could be a bit challenging, right? So I am just really, really excited that Shaeeda is getting a chance to, have her friend meet up with her and let her friend, and Bilal and them all get together. Now, when the scene was starting and they were talking about that, I was under the impression that the best friend already pretty knew a little bit about Bilal, but comes to find out, they never met. So let's just not skip too far, right? But nevertheless, that's the plan for going out to New York. And Shaeeda's just super excited, and she's also really excited to finally go on a vacation with her man in married life for the very first time. So you just can't help but to be excited for her. So the next day, they basically are flying in. They get into New York, Timberlands and all. They are ready. They got the assignment on the attire, and let's go ahead and take on the Big Apple. And then they get outside and they look every bit like the tourists. And then, Shaeeda then shares about the fact that, oh, wow, the smells and the sounds and, just how exciting and vibrant the city is, but that the smell reminds her of posies. And the last I knew, posies were little flowers, right? And not so much what she was talking about. No, see, so what she was talking about is that in her home country, a posy is a place where urine is stored. Okay, so sidetrack. I had went to Savannah. Me and my hubby went to Savannah. The first time we went to visit Savannah for the very first time, it was during our anniversary. We had a beautiful time. It was gorgeous. The city was really cleaned up nice, and there was a holiday that was coming around, and so I think they were all set up for that, and so it was just really, really a nice area. Fast forward 3 or 4 years later, now it's my birthday trip, and I'm saying, you know what, I really would like to go out of town. That was kind of our thing, and hang out for a little bit. And I figured Savannah would be a great, fast place to get to. So we go to Savannah, and we are walking in the street, and I kid you not, we stop in front of some light, and it smelled just like urine. Oh, talk about turn your stomach. And really, I was not in the most festive mood because it was when our dearly departed Prince had passed away, so I was not in any kind of mood for any shenanigans whatsoever. I'm still in mourning for that. But so this is what I smell, and I looked at my hubby and I said, you know what, I'm ready to go home. Honestly, there's no reason to stay here anymore. So I can understand how that could be a bit of a turnoff. But you know what? Bilal and Shaeeda, they like, look, we're just going to go ahead and do this. It's fine, but it was pretty funny. So anyways, then we are, connecting on later that day. They're actually going out and frolicking in the streets of New York City, and it looks like they may have possibly been in Times Square, not 100% sure, but nevertheless, they're hanging out. Bilal is being so sweet and charming. He's getting roses. He's just really giving her all the love that we rarely ever see. And he's just feeling the situation, and Bilal and Shaeeda are a beautiful couple. Like I said, they look really good on paper, and it was just so nice to see the fun, flirty side of Bilal and Shaeeda's relationship. So just exciting to see that. And they're just having a good time, and she's like, that's it. This place is beautiful. New York City is beautiful. And they just were really, really enjoying themselves. So we're then going ahead and continuing on with looking at more sites and seeing what kind of things are going on, and just really exploring the area and really just feeling all of what New York has to offer. But what we then find out is that they're actually going to also go meet Utrus for dinner. So here we go. One thing about the excitement that Shaeeda has for her best friend coming is that Bilal doesn't seem to really share that excitement. No, not at all. And when she brings it up about the fact that, hey, we're going to go ahead and, meet up with her, and, Bilal's is kind of just, okay, let's talk about something else, right? And now also, one of the things that she had mentioned is, she was really hoping that Utrus could kind of maybe help tag team in a way Bilal into, pretty much strong arming him into committing to having a baby. So I think Bilal is kind of picking up on that vibe, but look, again, Shaeeda is not fooling anybody, right? So they go from the beautiful, picturesque picturesque time. They're enjoying their time in New York. They're happy, frolicking. They get to this beautiful restaurant. It's posh. It looks very lovely. Customer service is on point. They're about to have a wonderful time, right? Now, before they actually enter into the restaurant, they run into Utress outside. And let me tell you, Utress, my goodness, stunning, beautifully stunning young lady, okay? She is just so stunning and, very, a little bit aristocratic. And I just love it. I just love it. And I tell you what, that Utress, she was not here for any shenanigans, okay? She was here to get down to the business. She needed to know everything from the rooter to the tutor about Mr. Bilal. And boy, oh boy, did this woman ever come in hot. Okay, like, I have a best friend, and I have a best friend, right? And of course, you always want to look out for each other when it comes to people that you're dating and all of that. You want to meet them, right? You want to make sure that they're the right for your friends, right? Or anyone else, if you have a sister, brother, whatever, your mother, your father, whoever, if they're dating or, getting married, you want to know the person, right? You want to make sure that they are actually being taken care of, and all of the hype is what it is. Oh, child, let me tell you. Yeah, sip on that for a minute. Utress was not here for it, okay? She just wasn't. And part of the reason is because, for some reason, Shady Shaeeda didn't introduce them. So here, Bilal has met Shaeeda's mother and father and sisters and, pretty much all the family, but she doesn't meet the best friend, or he doesn't meet the best friend. So, kind of wondered if Shaeeda felt that, maybe they wouldn't vibe in the first place, and she didn't want to, mess up them chances, right? So, so she kind of just stretched it out and maybe felt, now that I'm married, it won't matter, right? We're just going to try to put everybody together and hope it all works out, right? Ooh, Shady Shaeeda. That's who Shaeeda is going to be for me for this episode a lot, is the Shady Shaeeda. Got her innuendos and her agenda set, and she just simply ain't fooling nobody. Not even Bilal. So, they basically, they meet outside before going to the restaurant. Of course, Shaeeda and Utress, they're very warm in their embrace and just very excited to see each other. And then she goes to Bilal. Shaeeda introduces Bilal to Utress. And, he's kind of cool, right? And Utress basically is just like, hey, yeah, right, yeah, whatever. You can just see it all over her face. You can see it all over her face. And, basically, he's basically saying, hey, I've heard a lot about you, and she's like, well, yeah, I guess it remains to be seen as far as what she's going to do is judging how she feels about him. So we're already not off to the races. The woman is coming in hot. This isn't going to end well. I'm just feeling it, all right? I'm feeling all kinds of the vibes that this is not going to go well. But hey, this is what we love 90 Days for. It's a messy show. And look, it's full of life lessons. So we get into the restaurant, right? Again, beautiful, posh, sit down, great customer service. I love a restaurant with great customer service. Let me tell you, because I don't know what's going on in a lot of the places today, and it's quite annoying. If you ask me, I just prefer to go to a place where if I'm going to spend my money, I'm going to enjoy my experience. So it was nice to see that that's what they were portraying in the evening. Now, if you have ever seen somebody scared to death at a table who looked like every 5 minutes she wanted to run, it is Shaeeda, okay? Because as soon as they sit down, Utress is going in, and I mean hard. She literally had Bilal on the ropes, okay? I'm telling you, she came in swinging and didn't let him come up for air, okay? I don't think Bilal knew where he was at. I don't think Bilal remembered his last name. He just all knew that, okay, whoa, I am now in defense mode. And it was hilarious. It was hilarious, okay? Let me tell you, Utress did not disappoint in the best friend category. So, then we've got Bilal, basically saying, okay, whoa, you ain't about to embarrass me on my show. So I'm going to come in just as hot as you're coming in, right? So now we got the banter back and forth, mostly consisting of her sharing, how much she wants to know more about him. How do you feel about the questions I'm going to have with you? I want to have one-on-one time with you because I've got questions, okay? Utress has questions. Utress is PO'd about the fact that she did not meet Bilal, so she feels already slighted. Now, mind you, I'm looking at Shaeeda this whole time, and I'm saying, hello, Shaeeda, this is your fault, okay? This is not Bilal's fault. It's not Bilal's responsibility to meet the best friend. The best friend belongs to Shaeeda. So Shaeeda should have made that entrance. But shady Shaeeda, we know why Shaeeda didn't do that. Because she knew this wasn't going to go well. Okay? That was the point blank period. She knew this wasn't going to go well. So, they're going back and forth at each other. I mean, underlined insult after insult, right? I mean, just passive aggressive all over the place. They haven't even gotten to appetizers, okay? Shaeeda's over here with this basket trying to force feed crackers to both of them because she's so uncomfortable. And she's stuck in the middle of them because the way the seat is like one of those enclosed benches and she's dead in the middle. It's like the worst place you could sit down because if you need to escape, you're going to take forever to get out of here, right? So she's trapped. But you know what? That's what she deserves because she should have had them meet each other before this time, right? That's what should have happened. So, so basically, again, she's really coming in with that. And, you know, Bilal's like, look here, I ain't here for that, okay? This is me and Shaeeda's what we got going. And I ain't interested in what you got to say because, you know, hey, this is about me and her. And so, you know, Utrus basically says, you know, hey, look, you know, I want to know more about you and her and, you know, the relationship between you and her. And then Bilal drops the bomb of many sayings really that night when he says, yeah, that's right. This relationship is between me and Shaeeda and not so much about you. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think if that was when Shaeeda started thrusting them crackers. But what she did do is basically tell Bilal, you know, Bilal, calm down. You know, let's just bring it down a little bit. We're coming in a little bit too hard. And you could just see Utrus is just fuming, right? She is fuming because Utrus is like, look, I have the right to know what's going on. This is my best friend. I am the one to determine basically if you are right for her. So it ain't about a situation where I'm trying to get to know you and hoping you like me. Oh no, it is the other way around. You need to get my approval. Now, she didn't say all that, but this is what she's saying, okay? So at the end of the day, this was not working out. And oh my gosh, the shadiness of it all. This was 10 minutes into their dinner. 10 minutes! And we're already at World War III. I mean, it was insane how much back and forth was going on between those two. And Bilal was not here for it. You know, he got his footing because I'm gonna tell you, you just had him on those ropes and he finally got a little bit of a, you know, shoulder out. He got in there, got a little free from her, and then he started coming around and, you know, kind of backing her up into the center of the ring. And it was just so hilarious to see that. But at the same time, you know, the pain on Utrus' face, because she was getting really upset and very heated. And there was one moment that I thought she was actually going to start to maybe shed a tear because I think she was so angry about how rude she felt Bilal was being to him. Now, look, I am Team Utrus for the fact that I like a friend or a family member or anyone who knows how to protect you to the ends of the earth. But I would say that Utrus was a little bit hot in coming in. You know, sometimes you want to give a little bit of, you know, sugar and honey instead of the salt and vinegar, right? You know, kind of, I don't know, use a salesman tactic that Bilal uses all the time. You know, kind of reel them in a little bit and then kind of slide in those questions here and there. You know, don't let him be right on the offense, you know, fighting for a relationship he already is established. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, for Bilal, it doesn't really matter what you Utrus think of me because I'm already marrying her. I'm already married to her, right? I'm already with her. So bump that. It doesn't matter what you have to say. Then as we are sliding through the horrors of this evening, I think they get a point to try to order, but we don't actually see the ordering because the conversation, Shaeeda tries to keep turning it, you know, every time an uncomfortable thing is said and says, hey, look, you know, what do you want to eat? You know, Bilal, do you know what you want to eat, honey? What do you want to eat? You just... Baby girl, what do you want to eat? You know, what do you want to get? I mean, we should get that, you know, kind of thing. And Utrus says, look here, I've lost my appetite. So Bilal can never let an opportunity go to waste, says, you know what, you can lose your appetite. Yeah. So I really thought Utrus was about 5 seconds off getting up from that table. But she hung in there, you know, and then the conversation starts to turn to the fact, you know, basically, what is wrong with you? You know, you kind of think you're so entitled, right? And so perfect in a way is what she's saying. And then she also goes further to say, look, you know, you feel like you give her all these nice things because see, Bilal jumped in and basically made it be known. Look, Shaeeda's good. Okay, she got a great life. I take care of her. She's got beautiful things. She lives in a beautiful home. Like, he didn't say all these listed out things, but this is what he's thinking, right? You know, she's got everything she could ever want and need. I take care of her. She is good. So Utrus comes back with a powerful comeback and says, so what do you mean? Because you give her things, because you buy her things, that no one else could have done the same thing? So in other words, we're supposed to fall at your feet because you're doing what? I'm just going to say this. The bare minimum? Now, we all know Bilal's not doing the bare minimum, but the way Utrus and sometimes Shady Shaeeda acts, you kind of think that, look, we get lavish with golds and silver, okay? In the streets, rose petals are thrown. What are you doing? You know, you got me this humble house with this okay car. Wait a minute, that was the beginning. When Bilal was doing that horrible joke that really landed flat. But anywho, so we all know Bilal takes good care of Shaeeda. I think they take very good care of each other, right? It's clearly there's love there. There would have to be, because I don't know how they could stay together if there wasn't, okay? But, you know, look, and I think Shaeeda is extremely appreciative of it, but at the same time, Shaeeda's her own woman, right? She doesn't need that. I really do feel she loves him. So this is not a question, right? So Bilal, you know, basically said, well, look, I'm just trying to tell you that she's doing good. So, you know, there we go, right? So, yeah, so dinner is about done. And, you know, Utrus comes back with a wonderful comeback in that confessional area. She says, look, you know, he's aggressive, he's mean, and he acts like, you know, he's giving her last kidney, you know? And I'm just like, wow. But, you know, hey, you know, sometimes it be like that. Sometimes, you know, people can come across like they are giving you the world and you should beckon at their feet. But, you know, Utrus was not here for it. Not at all. So, you know, my thoughts on Shaeeda and Bilal in the last episode, 90 Days, is, look, you know, it was a disastrous dinner and it's not over, right? I think we're going to go into next episode with them, maybe with a continuation of this travesty of a dinner, or maybe they'll just skip over to the next day because it's probably just tanked. But nevertheless, we didn't get to see any kind of food. We didn't get this other than crackers and maybe a cocktail or two. And let me tell you, Shaeeda was so happy to see anybody approach that table so we can get them off course. It was the most entertaining episode of Bilal and Shaeeda that I've seen in a while, and so I'm here for it. It was great. I got all the action I needed and the messiness and just the straight right in there kind of relations between the three, and it was just really fun to see. Like I said, yeah, Utrus, she came in hot. So, you know, I would love to know what your thoughts were about this week and Bilal and Shaeeda's time in taking on New York at the moment. You know, do you have a best friend like that? Do you have someone in your corner? Do you think that Utrus came in too hot? You know, let me know in the comment section. Do you think that Bilal should maybe relax on his ideals of thinking that we can wait until Shaeeda's 50 years old before we can have a baby? I mean, I would love to know your thoughts. Oh, and I also would want to know, do you think that Bilal should have been a little bit more transparent in his feelings about whether or not he was ready to have kids right now with Shaeeda? I mean, I just want to know, because I just don't understand why these aren't things that aren't spoken about and you don't take them seriously, right? So yeah, I would just love to know your comments in the section down there. Let's start a conversation. If you're watching 90 Days, you know, how are you liking it? Are you enjoying it? You know, whatever. But definitely, I want to know, do you have anyone in your corner that's like that, like a Utrus? Do you think that she came in hot? Do you think that Bilal could relax his demands on not doing anything about the baby making department? And, you know, look, did he not know what Shaeeda's wishes were? And should he not been more transparent in them? So again, just drop them down in the comments. And also I wanted to share that I just dropped a Motivational Monday number 6 yesterday. So if you haven't gotten a chance to go out and get yourself some uplift, please go and do so. I really enjoy giving out those content areas in which we're talking and discussing quotes and just really pulling things apart, just to make our lives better, right? Looking at things that help us to just move forward with a good week ahead. So if you haven't had a chance or an opportunity to check that out, go ahead and do it. It is up live on the channel. And yeah, I'm so glad that you were here for my first recap of 90 days. Fiance, happily ever after with a huge question mark. So yeah, definitely make sure that if you're new here, subscribe, be a part of the family. I would love to have you here in the suite. We just have a good time. We talk about relatable things and, really just trying to, have a little bit of fun at the same time while we're kind of just, doing whatever it is to make our days a lot better. And if you enjoyed today's video, which I hope that you did, go ahead and give this video a like. It helps my videos and gets them out seen to many more people. And I would really like to know how, again, you're enjoying 90 days. So with that being said, I think I will bid you adieu. I'm going to actually be dropping another video probably later on today as well. So again, make sure that you are subscribed so you do not miss that. And we are talking, Jenny and Submit. All right, so until next time, be blessed. Take care. Bye.